Alexis Leatherman, aka Wheezy Blonde, is a prominent professional wrestling content creator and social media personality known for her analysis, comedic skits, and reactions centered primarily on WWE. I had the pleasure of sitting down with her, giving her flowers for Women's History Month on One-on-One with Sylvia The Siren.
Let me tell you, you're such a vibe. Your reactions be spot on. For a while, I was doing some reactions, but I was like, you know what? Let me just comment. And then that's when I got into the interviewing world with interviewing talent. But like Carolina X said, I did want to step away from like doing interviewing the talent and also collaborate with creators as well. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for joining me. And before we get into the interview, I just want to ask, how are you doing and how has your week been so far?
I'm doing fairly well. I'm pretty open on the internet about just my life in general. So I've been, since July, been dealing with like all kinds of woman stomach issues bothering me and whatnot. But this is a good week. I'm hanging in there. I'm feeling pretty good. I wish the weather would get warmer. That's pretty much where I'm at the moment.
It's still cold your way because we in the 70s here in North Carolina, which is crazy.
It is cold. It's in like the 40s, like mid 40s, 50s. But today I think it said it was going to get up to around 74, but it's rainy. So 74 is the warmest it's been this whole year. So I hope it does.
Oh man. Well, it's warming up over here. So we was able to take, because we have a son, we've been able to take our son out, let him run around because we had witnessed like twice of snow. Like snow came around twice.
Do you guys normally get snow?
Okay, so if we get snow, it will only be like one time, and then it will melt like the next business day. Okay. But this time around, we had got snow twice. I was like, what in the world? And then when they get snow out here, they make us be in the house like it was COVID.
I try not to make fun of you guys because you can't help it. It's not you're not equipped for it. Here it's like 4 feet. Oh, you're coming in, right? Oh, you just gotta come to this appointment. Like, yeah,
you gotta go to the store, right?
Yeah, you need the milk and the bread. Gotta freak out. Yeah.
Yes, but again, I really appreciate you coming on with me, and let me hop into it with you. I just wanted to mention that you've been a lifelong fan who mixes analysis with your personality. And can you provide me like a specific moment or match from your childhood that officially turned you into a wrestling fan or fanatic?
For sure. So I usually tell people I started around the late 90s. It would have been around 97. I was little. I was maybe 7. And the things that stand out that I remember The Rock. I remember specifically The Rock standing in the ring with sunglasses, the chops, and a silk shirt. That's one of the main things I remember. What really got me in being a fan was the tag division. So more Team Extreme, Lita, being able to see Lita, a woman, do all of the high flying, crazy things she was doing that I really hadn't seen before. That's really what pulled me in. They were my vibe for sure.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so at that time, that's the Attitude Era. Who was your favorite male wrestler, and then who also was your favorite like female wrestler?
Easy one for female was definitely Lita. Okay, Lita was one of my favorites. The men, I was always a Matt Hardy stan. I really, really liked Matt Hardy, and everyone's usually, and I love Jeff too. But everyone's always, oh yeah, Jeff is the man. Jeff is the man, and I always gravitated more towards Matt. And I think it was now as an adult, looking back, because knowing him now, just the creativity of the storylines that he did and the kind of theatrics of the way that he spoke, he seemed to be more comfortable with that, where Jeff was kind of the quieter artist, where he did everything through symbolism, and he also was more high flying. So I've gravitated towards Matt.
That's new, because like you said, everybody was always gravitating towards Jeff because he had the cool tricks, the flying off the ropes and everything like that. And Matt was more of like the technical, the telling the story type era. And that's first to hear for sure. And then Lita, of course, oh my gosh, Lita was just really that girl. Seriously, man.
My dad let me dress up as her for Halloween when I was 9. And it was quite the outfit, because I'm pretty sure that most people, I don't know what they thought I was, but they didn't know what I was, because I was in a camo shirt. I had a red wig, and it was, a bright red wig, because it was at God knows where we got it. And they're like, what are you? I'm like, I'm Lita. What is that? Oh, okay. Great.
She was that girl, man. I love me some Lita too. So before you were Wheezy Blonde on TikTok and YouTube, what did wrestling look like in your household? Was it something that you discovered on your own, or was it like a family tradition?
It started out as a family tradition. My dad was a fan. I got out of it around high school time. I think that's pretty common for a lot of people. I stopped watching when I got to high school, through when I started college. And around 2016, my husband got a new job, and he was my boyfriend at the time, but we were living together, and he started working overnights. So he would leave the house at about 7 p.m. So I was by myself. I started watching wrestling again because I didn't have anything else to do. So I started watching that again. And that was really how I got back into watching it. I wasn't super consistent with it. I was keeping up with a lot of recap videos. So I would watch like the 5-minute recaps of Wrestle Talk on YouTube and that to keep kind of updated. And I stayed hooked since then.
Were you a fan of the Divas era? Did you watch Total Divas by any chance?
I didn't. I knew about it. I knew about it. And I have gone back and seen some of it, just because when I started watching again up until now, getting to see the behind the scenes of some of them and their real lives, whether some of it's scripted or not, whatever. But it's fun to see a lot of that.
I wonder would they ever make a new version of the Divas era considering the women's division now. I don't think nobody would do it though. I don't think they want to be considered as a reality TV star, considering there wasn't a lot at that time for the Divas era. So getting on a reality TV aspect, it kind of helped with their career. I feel like, do you feel like that happened?
For sure, because now there's more of the problem. Not that it's a problem, but having them actually have characters and be in storylines, whereas before it wasn't so much. It was kind of, here, let's actually get to show you some of them and what they do to give them exposure, where now they're getting a lot more of the exposure. Yes. So you could kind of run into the whole breaking kayfabe kind of situation, but I still would like to see it because I like some of the behind the scenes, especially with the girlies.
Me too. I really would like to go see what goes on in the locker room for sure. Are you a fan of the Unreal, the documentary that Netflix is doing? Because I know there's some like it, some don't. What's your take on Unreal?
Okay, my take on Unreal. I'm not one of those people that's gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's ruining kayfabe because we're seeing behind the scenes. I think it's a little boring because I like to watch the show. I like to watch wrestling. I like to be entertained by the goofiness, the storylines. I like to be engrossed with that. I don't really care how they came to a decision about something. I don't really care how they're booking this or who's booking that or all of that. The first season I was into it and I watched, and this one I think I watched the R-Truth episode and that was it. I was like, this is the only one I want to see. Okay, I'm done.
That was the same thing with me. So I watched it and I was big on just wanting to know the R-Truth story and Naomi's situation, which they kind of tackled a little bit on her and Sasha Banks walking out on Raw. Of course, we didn't really get as much of the information on what really took place, of course. But the R-Truth situation was very interesting because I really was very curious to kind of know what happened when it came down to that he was released and he wasn't released, and what made this decision and how really it all played out. So that was probably the reason why I had to tune in, because even though it was supposed to capitalize off of John Cena's retirement, I feel like we didn't really get that because they were kind of a little bit more vague with John Cena's retirement too when it came to Unreal.
You were really vague on everything, and I even feel like the R-Truth episode, I was okay. Did you tell me everything here? I don't know. I feel like you danced around a little bit. But okay.
I feel like that too. I feel like it was definitely danced around. I feel like the first season of Unreal was a little bit more better because I watched it twice and I was I was so engaged with it. But the second one, I was kind of like, okay, are we just trying to have a filler spot, make this a thing? Whereas though with the Netflix deal, because I feel like they left a lot of clues out. And it's like, okay, why give us this? But then you're not going to give it all to us. That's kind of how I felt about Unreal too.
No, I agree with that for sure.
It's funny that you said that about the Unreal story. Yeah. But also too, speaking of locker room, which era of the locker room would you want most to cover as a content creator? Is it the first women's era, the Divas era, or the current era?
because I'm looking at it from a content creator perspective, because I would almost want to do the first era, because there's so much I feel that's unknown, and there's so many untold stories, and there's so many things that we really don't know that have only been touched on very, very briefly, to really actually get to know the nitty gritty of who was pushing for what were they trying to do, what were they being told no by, who was being told no, and why. I think they're very tight-lipped about that sometimes, but I think that that's also just sometimes I think it's an era thing. They're like, we're going to keep this close to our chests. Like, you grit your teeth and you deal with it. But it's like, no, talk about it. Like, I want to know.
Because the Attitude Era, we really don't know much about it when it comes to the women's division, especially like the behind the scenes. They would have like A&E or their rivalries, especially I know when Trish did hers and then when Lita did theirs. It's still not enough to like tell us like, hey, this really took place. This took place. Because their division was very small. It wasn't really a lot of them on the roster. It was Victoria, it was Trish, it was Lita, Jazz, and then Jacqueline. So like, it wasn't a lot, but I would love to know like what really took place behind the scenes in that era. Consider we already kind of know with the Divas era because of Total Divas, and then also what's currently going on right now in the new era because of Unreal and just them doing more press than they were doing back in the day, because they weren't doing a lot of press back in the day.
Exactly, for sure.
Yeah, and then back in the day, they didn't have like content creators to like cover certain things and stuff like that. So now we in an era where media is everywhere.
There's so much information, so much content, so much information. Some of the interviews are real. Some of them are in character. There's so much to consume. You don't get to see a lot of them. Have you gotten to interview any of the women from the Attitude Era?
I have not. The only person, so out of the women, let's see, of the Attitude Era, no, I haven't had the Attitude Era. I've only had the new era so far. I haven't even had a diva yet. I only met a diva. I only met 2 divas. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're elusive. They're elusive. I feel like when you get the opportunity, I had the opportunity to very quickly and briefly interview Jacqueline. I just knew the person that was representing her, and he said, "Hey, do you want to interview Jacqueline?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I will." Like, on the
tell
fly.
me more.
Yeah, she's such a badass. She's so cool. She's so very cool. It was almost like she knows that she's bad, like a bad girl, but she's very humble about it too, and surprised that someone is telling her things that they remember. Like, I was telling her about like her entrance theme in one of the old video games that I used to play, or just her background of when she came up and when she started. She was talking to me about the Von Erichs. She didn't like being positioned in a way that was like being a trailblazer. She was kind of like, yeah, it's just what I was doing. I just came up and I did this, and it's just what I did. I didn't think about it like that at the time. I didn't think about it as I was jumping hurdles or I was trying to overcome something in this industry. It's just, I was just doing it. No one was going to tell me that I couldn't. She was really cool to talk to. I liked her a lot.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's why I was asking, because she's not really on social media and stuff like that to kind of really get to know like the in-depth of like how she really feels. Because shout out to DS Shin. I know I watched the interview that he did with her. I think he did like 2, and it was really good to know a little bit more of like who she loved being in the ring with, who she loved working with. And yeah, to know that you had interviewed her and spent some time with her, that's amazing.
Like
Seriously.
I said, they're elusive. They're out there living their life. Jacqueline's, she's not on socials. Good for her. She's probably way more sane because of it. But, you don't ever get that from them. The other thing she did say that if she had to pick someone from today's era that she would go with, like go against, it would be Charlotte. And I said, I like you.
Oh, absolutely. Man, Charlotte, my girl. I love Charlotte. I love Charlotte. Now, okay, let's talk about WrestleMania. We're gonna talk about WrestleMania. So I see that you had attended WrestleMania 41 in the VIP section. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how was that experience? And fans want to know financially, was it worth it?
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing about that situation. I went to Las Vegas for so I didn't know that I was going to be going to WrestleMania until about 3 days before. I was working for WrestleCon, the wrestling convention on the Strip, and I got an offer a few days before to work for Xfinity. So Xfinity was running a booth at WWE World where they had like a lounge and you could do an entrance thing. They had their own little booth. You could sit down, get drinks, Wi-Fi. So I went and promoted that and made videos for it. And the other part of the contract was to go to one of the nights of WrestleMania and film the Xfinity logo branding on the ring and on like the Trons. And there were specifics where you couldn't film any signature wrestling moves, nothing that was trademarked. You could just get little snippets with the Xfinity logo. What I didn't know, and they did not disclose to me, was Xfinity helped sponsor that area, that stage area.
Okay.
I don't know that those tickets were purchasable. I've not seen or talked to anybody. I don't know if the general public could purchase them. So financially, I had nothing in almost the entire trip, minus most of my food and anything recreationally, because all of the places I worked for split my flight, my hotel, and then Xfinity sent me to Wrestlemania. I would not have fronted that myself personally. Okay. I really wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. It's just that I was working for them. That being said, when I was sitting on the stage, outside of corporate people, I think corporations were probably able to purchase like one of the tables. They did random upgrades. So there were people that were in upper level of Allegiant Stadium and they randomly upgraded them. So a lot of people with kids they brought to that stage. And so that was cool because you did have some actual fans that were up there. There were a lot of people that were not fans. And I was like, what is this? Like I was the only person standing at the rail for a hot minute. And I'm like, do any of you care? What is going on? Seth Rollins has a flamethrower right now and y'all are sitting down. What's going on?
So you feel like it was more people just showing up than it was actual legit fans.
Yeah, it's almost like big companies bought these tables and sent some employees and there was one fan at the table that was trying to tell everybody. There was one at the table behind me that was trying to explain things and they were like making fun of him. They were laughing.
The reason why I'm asking this question, because I know everyone has complained about the prices this year, and I just want to know your take on it as well. How do you feel about the prices for Mania this year? Like when it comes to the Worlds, the meet and greets, and just WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 within itself. Like, how do you feel about how WWE/TKO is going about it with the pricing?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's funny because I held off on really talking about it because I felt like everybody was at the beginning. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to partake in it. I'm just going to, whatever. And now that I have, there's people that it's like there's pushback no matter what you say. They're like, oh, this is the way things go. It's just the way things are. They're doing it everywhere. They're doing it here. They're doing it in the NFL. They're doing it here and here. And it's like that. Okay, well, I still don't like it. It still doesn't make it okay. It's still insanely greedy. And it's hard because people are still paying it. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
I did this last weekend was Elimination Chamber in Chicago. And like I told you, I'm about like hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Chicago. And I've gone to a lot of conventions and indie shows. I know the Chicago crowd. And that Elimination Chamber, the crowd was not what I know as a Chicago crowd. It was just people were sitting down. They weren't excited. It wasn't loud at all. And I had said just that the real Chicago crowd can't afford the tickets anymore or are not willing to pay thousands of dollars to go. And it's just sad because it takes away the people that really make the shows fun and have fun and want to be there.
That's sad. That's really, really sad because, that's been the biggest complaints as far as like the greediness of the TKO movement. Also, too, like with the sponsorships being everywhere. I know last year they had sponsorships everywhere in WrestleMania when it came to the ring. I just thought that like it was just crazy. I was like, okay.
And I was one of the ones that got hired by them. I was like,
where's all these sponsorships coming from? Like, come on. Okay, we got to go to an ad here. We got to go to an ad there. I'm like, come on.
They are it seems like they're accepting them from everyone now. Did you see? They have a was it the Mad Dog 2020, the MD 4040? What is it? What is in the middle? I was like, Mad Dog?
What is this? I was like, oh my God. Okay, they definitely got too greedy. And it's like nowadays, when it comes to WWE, you're paying for everything. You're paying for to get a clip of a video, you're paying for a subscription that you're not even getting the next day to be able to revisit the PLE. For example, with the speaking of the Elimination Chamber, I was trying to rewatch what was it? Becky Lynch and AJ Lee's match, just to kind of like get an understanding and critique, like, you know what I'm saying, what I would give that match when we was filming for our podcast. When I went on the ESPN app, there was not a like video to be able to rewatch like how we had it on Peacock. For example, I'm using Evolution would air that Sunday, and then the next day, you know, you'll be able to rewatch it.
Yeah.
On ESPN, I was not able to do that. And I was just like, wait a second.
Like at all?
At all. So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, ESPN is already high subscription to have as it is.
Yes, it is.
So you mean to tell me I'm paying for this ESPN subscription? I can't rewatch a PLE? It's not even on Netflix. So I just thought that was kind of weird with all the partnerships coming about, and then like we can't even have the luxury to be able to like
write that down. I didn't know that.
Yes, right.
What?
Yes.
Oh, we're talking about that.
Yes,
excuse
please.
me.
Yes. So I was just kind of like, wait a second. I know my husband. I was like, hey, babe, can you go ahead and put on the Elimination Chamber for me real quick? He was like, it's not on Peacock. I said, okay, is it on ESPN? I was like, okay, yeah. So he went to try to turn it on because he had a gig and he wanted to rewatch it too with me. He was like, wait a minute, it's not on here. He said, you know what, TKO? So he said he think the kick to it is that they try to get everybody to tune in on the first like live, and then hold off on putting it on ESPN to rewatch it.
That makes sense then, because I was wondering, can you rewatch Rumble?
Yes, you can rewatch Rumble because Rumble is actually on Peacock, if I'm not mistaken, still, and it's also on Netflix. Yeah, it's also on Netflix too. But when it came to the Elimination Chamber, it was on ESPN, so I couldn't rewatch it on ESPN to kind of like, you know, rewatch some of the female matches and like do a recap. And I was just like, wait a second, this is
the whole show, it kept buffering for me, and I have hefty internet, dude. I have hefty internet. All these little dorks online are telling me like, you just need better internet. I'm like, listen, I have good internet. I'm a streamer. I've been doing this 5 years, dog. It was the broadcast. For at one point, the audio was so messed up that it was like, it sounded like a bunch of demonic chipmunks. And we're like, what is this? And then it just kept buffering and buffering and buffering. And the whole stream, I couldn't help. I paid $29.99 for this. I'm paying $29.99 for this. This is great. Yeah, I love it.
Saturday Night Live buffers a lot too. I know when Jade actually caught the title on Saturday Night Live, it kept buffering and buffering. And I went into my chat like, is it me or is it your internet? Like, or is my internet kind of trash? Or is it buffering? They was like, no, it's doing the same. It's doing the same. So yeah, it's like we're paying so much for all of this, but like it's just like
nothing is really convenient. Nothing is working the way that it's supposed to. It's like, well, I'm going to fork out my money to you. Okay, it's getting really hard. I have to tell you this. When I went to WrestlePalooza, don't judge me. I'm dumb. I paid a ticket. I paid to go to WrestlePalooza. It was in Indianapolis. I just really wanted to go. Okay, I went, and I was sitting on production side, 4th row back. I bought my ticket right before I got there, and this man walked up behind me. And he like touched my shoulder, and I turned, and it's a dude in a suit. And a dude's in suits there, I'm usually assuming is someone that works there. And he just said, hey, I just wanted to tell you, I really appreciate your content. I really like what I see and what you do, and that you keep it so positive. And I just said, oh, you know, thank you. And I just shook his hand. I'm like, what's your name? And he hesitated for a minute, and then he told me his name. I don't remember it, but I do remember I do remember that he said he did something for TKO. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh, it did something to me, because I'm like, oh, I need to start
not them having informants in the crowd.
I was like, who are you? What are you doing here? And you know who I am, but also, okay, yeah, I'm okay. Well, I'm gonna start. I was like, I honestly at that point, I said I'm gonna start saying a little bit more, because I think in my pursuit of trying to remain positive, it wasn't intentional, but I think I just was glossing over a lot of things that are important, like the price discrepancies and the way that that's happening. And I don't want anyone to think that I think that's okay. I don't.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want TKO to think I don't think it's okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. Hopefully some things change, but listen, because how it's looking right now with WrestleMania, I just look at the pricing, and they haven't released like the photo ops and stuff like that to kind of get an idea on how much we're going to be paying. It's just like, whoa, and it's like, don't wait last minutes for that stuff. But yeah, they are really getting insane. Now, when it comes to the merch, I feel like the pricing still kind of stays the same because I've been paying the same amount for like certain shirts and everything like that, especially belts. So that part hasn't changed. But back to like WrestleMania. So, all right, WrestleMania this year. So, night one, if you were a general manager, how would you book the main event night one and night two with the current roster to ensure the crowd is glued and basically spot wise? Like, how would you book this card for WrestleMania this year?
Boy. Okay, so we have SmackDown tonight where
Yes.
Okay, Drew and Cody. If I had it my way, I don't think I would have Cody re-winning the title. I would probably want a multi-man, whether it be Drew, Randy, and Cody, or Drew, Randy, Cody, and added Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
I almost like the idea of it being a fatal four-way because it's been a minute. That would be kind of cool.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I like the four-way.
It doesn't happen very often anymore, especially for a title. And usually I'm not all for that, but especially with just the men's division, I feel like that would spice it up a little bit because I feel like it's been a lot of the same back and forth between like two different people.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'd want that on night one or night two, but probably night two. Yeah, probably night two. Yeah.
Do you think, for the women's real quick, which one do you think is going to be night one and which one do you think is going to be night two?
It's Jade and Rhea, right?
And then Stephanie and Liv.
I think Jade. Because I don't want to sit here and feel like, I feel like night one is more important than, or sorry, night two is more important than night one. But it does. I feel like subconsciously there is a little bit of that just because it's.
Oh yeah.
It's the end. You don't have the next day. I think Rhea and Jade will be night two.
I think so too. We're gonna get on Rhea and Jade in just a second. Yeah, I gotta pick your brain on that one. Okay. How do you feel about the build up with Stephanie and Liv?
Okay. The only thing that I struggle with, and I feel like I'm very alone in it, is for some reason, since Stephanie has come to the main roster, I just feel like any of the feuds that she's had, this is definitely the fieriest one so far. But there's always just like there's like a little bit of something that's not clicking or something that's missing, and I don't understand it because I obviously know she's great. Like she is great. I was all for her when she won. What was it? The creative
NXT.
Whatever. Yeah,
the NXT title, and then also did she win North American and then also the NXT title because she was a double champ.
Yes.
Yeah, she was a double champ, and then once she relinquished both of those champs, that's when she went over to the main roster. Like, yeah.
For me, I think it's almost because I felt this way about Julia too. Her and Julia both, they moved to the main roster so very quickly, and I think Julia absolutely got fumbled right off the bat, and that was so unfair. And I think it's being remedied now, but I just felt like on the main roster, I didn't get a chance to really get on board. And so now it's like I'm trying to be, and I'm trying to be, and I'm trying to be, and I am in a way, but it's still just not totally there. And I hate it because I adore her, but I'm trying.
Same. It's like the build is like not there. It's like, okay, where's this going? They try to do something backstage with Dirty Dom and Liv and her. It's just like, okay, where's it going? I'm glad that she chose her. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad Liv chose her as the opponent. It did make sense, but it's like, okay, now that you chose your opponent, where is it going to take us next? And it's just like, I still haven't got there yet on what's your reason for choosing her? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
it's like Stephanie doesn't have on the main roster, at least there's not a lot of history there between anybody. There's not a lot to go off of. It's just, this is Stephanie and she's great. And so I don't even feel like they gave us too much of like her backstory enough even for us to really know like where she comes from. Maybe they glossed over it like once in a video package, but really I don't think anyone actually really knows like everything that she's done. So that would have been helpful, I think.
I think, like you said, with the video package, and I feel like we need a little bit more of those like weekly for her, because sometimes I do forget that she is the world champ. And it's like, okay, can we get a little bit more like, you know, in depth, like to let us know like that's the world champ? At least with Jade, she's on every Friday. And either she's saying that I'm that, you know, at least we know like she's holding the tag title. The champ title, like letting us know, hey, I'm that B. So that's where my disconnect is as far as like with Stephanie being the current world champ. You know, I need to understand that she is the champ. You know, I understand in the ring that she is the champ, but I need to understand as far as like storyline and why she is the world champ, I guess, because I think that's where my big disconnect is, you know. But a great aspect to the women's roster. Don't get me wrong, her and Julia was really like, that was money to me, but it's just like, okay, we need a little bit more. And that's where I feel like the creative is going bankrupt when it comes down to their ideas on how they're booking, like not just the women's division, but the men's division too. And do you feel like, okay, with the men's division, we have the Drew, like you said, you mentioned, you feel like it'll be like a 4, you know what I'm saying, 4 of them to go against the title. With Punk and Roman, I just need your take on what happened this past Monday. And honestly, like, how do you feel about that?
You're so fun to talk about these things, because I feel like most people I won't ever give like actual takes, because I do have them, but I'm like, no, you don't deserve it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you, fine.
Tell me, because like I just want to know how you felt about that pipe bomb that, you know, Punk gave.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was there, and I'm in it and I'm listening. And I felt like the only real scathing thing was at the very end, where he did bring up burying him next to his dad. And it felt like, oh, okay, there was that. Because the rest of the promo, I didn't feel like it was super scathing. Like, Roman Reigns is bringing up, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna retire you, ooh, and you're gonna go down to NXT, ooh, and then you're gonna send these people up, and I'm gonna take care of them, ooh, like, I was, okay, it didn't sound very, convincing. So it's almost like Punk. I hate speculating, but it's almost like Punk knew that. And so he was like, you know what? I'm going to bury you next to your dad. Oh, so everyone really finally was like, oh, there it is, Yes.
I just feel like that was a shoot right there. I was like, okay, that's not part.
That's what I mean. I feel like Punk's like, we got to up the ante. What can I do? Dead dad. Like, like that's how it went.
Definitely. Do you feel like Punk maybe took it a little too far with that line about burying him next to his father?
I think probably I'm the worst person to ask these things, because I'm like, I feel like if it were me, I'd be like, yeah, do it. I'd be like, my daddy would be so happy if you said that. Like, but no, in reality, it's far, to say that.
It was pretty far, but if you look at the IWC, they was in an uproar talking about how they felt like, okay, well, they talked about Dusty Rhodes, what I'm saying. So what difference does it make with Punk doing it? Because because they the bloodline, they off limits when it comes to that. So that was a lot of the discourse that was taking place on like the internet when it came to that. But I don't know. I don't think that was written in the script for Punk. I think Punk went like, I'm about to shoot, because
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. And
all of the Samoans are coming after me. I'm bringing them up.
Yes. And it's crazy because we had Nia Jax on the channel this week, right?
Oh, I love her.
Yes, love her down. And we had got like messy. And she loves being messy. She admitted it on the interview. So we played a clip of the promo. And then the next thing you know, when we played a clip of the promo, she said, small men. I can't really think off the dome what she said. She's like, small men, what I'm saying, make, these type of claims and this and that. But she was like, did you notice that he said this when he was walking out of the ring? Like, he can say it face to face. Like, she went in, and I thought, oh, small men bark loud. That's exactly what she said. Thank you. My boss man just told me. He was like, oh, because I forgot exactly what she had said. And I said, She was like, yeah, I love VMS, because she's like, at the end of the day, guess who's taking it? And then she put her one up. I was like, I know that's her. But Nia Jax, shout out to her. She was wonderful on the channel. And yeah, I adore her. But yeah, the bloodline about to go crazy. I wonder if that's going to be incorporated with this situation, because there's going to be a lot of interference, I feel like, with that.
I feel like it should, because the bloodline, they're all in different areas right now. At one time, you had the main bloodline, and then there was the split offs, and there's I call them the Timu bloodline, but I do like the MFTs. The MFTs, like
that was a good one.
Like, they all need the reunion. Something's got to happen.
Yes, no, I need something, because like the MFTs not doing it for me like the OG bloodline. I was like, come on, we need something. Y'all too split out. It's too many of y'all. Y'all need to come together as one, like something. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting when it came to like the Punk and Roman. But now we need to talk about the internet. Jade and Rhea, like, wow, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel if this is a work or if this is actually literally a shoot. I just need to know your opinion on, one, if you feel like it's a work or a shoot. Two, who you think is going to take the title. And three, how would you like incorporate this storyline when it comes to them two, for it to be like, you know what, I want to be at the front row to figure out how this story is going to play out for, WrestleMania.
Okay, I'm gonna need a little refresh, because my audience brought it up to me in chat, and I didn't see the tweets myself. I've been kind of disconnected from Twitter a little bit, so I didn't see the back and forth. But I know that it happened. What did it start over? Who responded to who first? What was the premise of their interaction?
So, okay, it started off, I think it's kind of hard to say who kind of started off, because it was so much back and forth, because the locker room came out and just started like attacking Jade. We had Piper Niven. Yeah, we had Chelsea Green. We had it was just a lot, and it took all in 24 hours. So Jade was like responding. So, okay, Rhea went on and said that you go on interviews and podcasts, you know what I'm saying, talking about like, you that girl, this and that and the third. And then what struck a nerve with Rhea is that Jade has said that, she be politicking, like going to creative and stuff like that, complaining in a sense, or making it seem like she want to change like the storylines. And
okay, like, someone did tell me that. Okay.
Whether who should be over and who should not be over. So that was one of it. That's what stroke it a little bit. So then that's when Piper Niven jumped in, and then Jay was like, hey, you need to rest up and this and that. Third, they brought up her being on vacation. And then this was Chelsea Green gets on. It was just like, Rhea's one of the best people. So that's kind of like the meat and potatoes of it. It's just like they were going back and forth with a Twitter war. And it was like Rhea and Jade versus Jade, Rhea in the locker room at this point. So it's kind of given with them jumping in like, okay, is this real, or this is just to add to the storyline? And now it's like, do we know whether or not it's a work, or do we know whether or not it's, it's a shoot? Because now it's just given like they don't like each other based off her tweets.
I would hope so. I like there is the question of it. It's the best part is that we don't actually know, because it fuels the fire no matter what. There can be the little bit of speculation of, maybe it actually just is in storyline, and they're, it's not a shoot, and they're doing it because it's this, and it's bringing investment. But there's always that little bit of doubt, because you don't really know, and you won't get the confirmation of it. And so that's the cool thing about social media and the way that they can use it. I would hope that the locker room isn't at odds with each other and that the girlies are actually really behind the girlies, behind the scenes,
Right.
and they're only doing this to make sure that they're elevating their storyline. Because I've hated how, the internet is. I've hated the way that everyone's talked about Jade probably the last however many months since she's been champ. I adore Jade, and I have since she was in AEW. And so for people to be like, she hasn't even defended her title. And I'm like, that's the point. Like, I get it. But like, you know what? That's the point. Like, she's better than that. She doesn't need to. She's not just going to, flippantly defend the title against anybody. It's got to mean something. Like, you could look at it that way. But no.
I looked at it that way too. And I actually thought it was a great idea that she wasn't defending the title, because it was showing her, like, her prestige and like, I am that girl, like, take a number to come get in the ring with me.
And being so unbothered by it too. She's like,
exactly.
Okay, I don't care.
And then another thing, but I would tell like the IWC because she was on the channel too. And when I did her interview and dropped a clip of it, I was getting a lot of that in the comments. Like, she still hasn't defended her title. I was like, well, it's not up to her. It's up to creative. I was like, kind of like clapping back when it came to that situation.
Good for you.
Yeah. But it just kind of feels like, it's like how it was last year at the Elimination Chamber. Like, the locker room was kind of against her with the whole Shayna Baszler situation. And then also when she made that like little promo video of the wolves and all that stuff, Chelsea Green said something again. Love Chelsea Green, no, but it's just like, what's the problem? I just feel like Jade is doing her job. I just feel like Rhea just need to get on board, and then they just need to make money together and have a really great match. Because I think, what? I have a feeling that Rhea is going to put her over in a sense when it comes to like, their face off. And it would make sense to the point where as though like, because I don't think Rhea needs the gold right now. But if Rhea takes it again, I'm not mad at that either. But
I understand it.
Yeah, I will understand it too. Because, she is the face of the women's division. But, I do like the fact that Rhea is also putting other people on. Shout out to Nia and Lash for getting that win on SmackDown this past Friday. Because, Lash had pinned Rhea, which I thought was so dope. I was like, wait a second.
I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, Rhea clean at that too. I was like, come on.
It's fun watching the both of them because Lash has such a stature, and so for Rhea and her to be able to handle each other. Same thing with Nia for the real strong girlies to be able to really go. It's really fun to see. I love Lash.
I love you some Lash too. She was on the channel too. And, speaking of Lash, since the Elimination Chamber was in Chicago, how was the pop for Trick Williams?
Oh my God. I mean, oh my God. I love that he just gets, it doesn't even matter just in Chicago. Just anywhere right now, people love him. And I think that's just a testament to if you have an aura about you and you carry yourself a specific way, you can win people over. It doesn't have to be that you do a specific thing move-wise in the ring, just being this larger than life character and believing that you are. People will see that and it's infectious.
Awesome. Yeah, but we on the road to Mania and we just got a long way to go, 6 weeks ahead and stuff like that. So I appreciate your takes with me on how you feel like this card is going to be. And I'm super excited I got to interview you. You are a vibe. And thank you for taking the time out on your busy schedule to do this interview with me and letting me spotlight you for Women's Month. And let people know where they can find you on your socials.
You can find me on Instagram, where all my reaction clips are at It's Wheezy Blonde. I also have a YouTube channel, Wheezy Blonde, and I live stream there and on Twitch, Wheezy Blonde, every Monday and Friday, and most major PLEs and sometimes random things here and there.
Awesome. So yes, thank you, Wheezy Blonde, for joining me, Sylvia the Siren, on 101 with Sylvia the Siren.